Hello, welcome and thank you for visiting the Open Leadership channel. My name is Michael Breeze, and on this video, which is the third of the 4 helpful beliefs for leaders, I'll explain why your team is smarter than you. Now, I hope you find this video useful, and do stay till the end of the video to see how you can get access to more free resources. And if you haven't subscribed yet, it would be a massive help for me if you could. It makes it much easier for me to carry on making free resources for people who want it or need it if you subscribe. Thank you. In the last 2 videos, I explained why, if you are to become a good leader, 2 very helpful beliefs are: it's not about you, and your weakness is your strength. Now, if you haven't watched those yet, I strongly recommend that you do to get the full benefit of the helpful beliefs overall. And as I say in this video, I'll cover the third of these 4 helpful beliefs, which is that your team is smarter than you. Now, I may be being a little provocative by saying that your team is smarter than you, but collectively, they almost certainly know a great deal about their area of work, their customers, their problems that they face in the working processes of the day that you should be listening to. And in any case, it's worth remembering, if you're, as a new leader, in sort of checking your ego, it would be pretty arrogant to believe that you are smarter or better informed than your whole team, even if your team is a small one, just because you've been made the boss. And yet, I see leaders behave as if they know better than their team, and who make decisions and lay plans and solve problems with little regard to their people's views, their knowledge and their experience. And I find myself, or used to find myself, a lot asking, why might this be? Did these leaders suddenly become smarter just because they got promoted? So did the package for their new role include some sort of brain upgrade as part of the deal? Or do some leaders just think that their promotion is confirmation of their superior intellect? In the main, to be fair about it, I think that the answer is much simpler than these suggestions. I think that many leaders get tricked into behaving as though they know everything because some part of their mind believes that they're supposed to know everything, that they mustn't be found wanting, they shouldn't be asking, they're supposed to know now that they're in charge. Now I think this links back to our 2 earlier helpful beliefs, in the sense that if, as a new leader, you're worrying about how you're looking, as opposed to knowing that it's not about you, or you're busy masking what you see as your failings, your weaknesses, as opposed to knowing that your weakness is your strength, you may get drawn into believing that if you acknowledge that you don't know all the answers, or you ask your team for help, their views, their opinions, their ideas, that you will look weak, you won't look like a leader, you reveal failings that will undermine you as a leader. So new leaders will sometimes try to adopt the decisive, commanding style that they believe is what good leadership looks like, and so fail to listen, to engage, and to trust their people. Now, there are enormous dangers here. If you believe that you know best, or that you're supposed to, and you have to behave like that, and you therefore don't listen to your people, you're risking 3 dire consequences. The first is that your people are closer to the action and say they know things that you don't. That is always going to be the case. So they can judge an idea or plan more realistically than you very often. So if you ignore them, if you don't listen, you risk making a bad decision, bad plans, bad solutions to problems if you don't get their input. Secondly, the second dire issue here is that imposed plans that you just impose on people without engaging them, are less likely to suit the preferences for action of your team and the people that have to carry it out, the particular skills or skill gaps of the people who have to deliver the decisions, deliver the plans. And thirdly, imposed plans don't engage people anyway, so they're far more likely to fail in execution. People will always work harder to make plans work, to solve problems and deliver results when they feel engaged, because they were involved in the planning and the decision making. It's their work as well. They own it. They're engaged with it. And if you don't do that, even if you by chance end up with a good plan without involving your people, unlikely, but imagine that's true, even a perfectly effective plan is more likely to fail for lack of staff engagement in the process of arriving at it. And of course, more broadly, you will have missed out on the benefits of engaging your people that extend way beyond just any specific plan or decision. And I refer you back to an earlier video on leadership purpose number 2, which is engaging your people. Do watch that if you want to understand this broader benefit of engaging your people beyond just an individual plan or action plan. Now, leaders who impose solutions and plans without consulting and engaging their people often find themselves frustrated when things don't turn out the way they had hoped or intended. When I work with clients who have struggled with this approach, I usually find that it's because they just don't know a better way to work with their people, a way that gets the staff's engagement, get the people's and team members' engagement, and their input, but doesn't leave the leader feeling exposed or undermined. They don't know how to get to that point. Now, my favourite opening question when challenging leaders in this area is, why would you take that risk? Why would you set yourself up for potential failure by assuming better knowledge or understanding, or acting as though you know everything because you feel you should? The risk is that you both, one, you have a failed solution, as we've said, a plan or a decision to deal with afterwards, when it's got with all of its repercussions, embarrassment, failings, consequences for you and for your team. And secondly, you will have diminished your reputation, your standing with your team, with your peers and the organizations as a whole, as a leader. Even if you don't have a great refined way of working that gets your team's engagement, even if you don't have the tools or understand the tools and methods to arrive at better solutions in collaboration with your team, hold back from making rash, uninformed, single-minded decisions until you know the best way forward. And the clue to where the best answer, the best way forward can be found is your team is smarter than you. Now, the good news is that the open leadership approach will equip you with the methods and the tools, time-tested, refined, practiced methods and tools that will connect, engage, and grow your people, that will give you great decisions, great plans, and successful execution of those plans and decisions, whilst at the same time improving, reinforcing and building your reputation and standing as a leader with your team and with others. Now, lots of specific tools and methods will follow very soon in the videos that I'm producing. But the very first one to understand in terms of tools and methods is actually the last of these helpful beliefs, and is the basis of what I call the leader's master skill, which is asking great questions. So the last of the 4 helpful beliefs, which will be covered in the next video, is asking questions is much better than giving answers. Do not miss that video. As I say, it is the foundation for what I believe is the leader's master skill of asking great questions. So hopefully you can see why helpful belief 3 is that your team is collectively smarter than you. Now, I hope this video was useful and interesting, short though it was. Do let me know your thoughts and comments below in the comment section of the video. And do you have any experiences where leaders have ignored the potential capability and contribution of the teams that you'd like to share? Also, please remember to subscribe to the channel if you would. As I said at the start, it really helps me to carry on producing free material if you do. And do hit the reminder bell to receive notifications when new content drops in each week, because as I say, over time you will receive free of charge all of the elements, the skills, the tools of the open leadership approach through these videos. You can get access to more free resources at openleadershipbase.com. That's openleadershipbase.com, including excerpts from my book, Stepping Up, How to Be Great in Your First or Next Leadership Role. You can also join the Open Leadership Base forum there and get involved in conversations with me and other leaders in your situation, people going through their learning journeys. You can share experience, ask questions, and also let me know your thoughts about the content you'd like to see there at the website and here on the channel as well. Also, do remember, if you're impatient for an overall view of the open leadership approach and don't want to wait for the full video versions to arrive as I produce them, you can buy my book, as I said earlier, Stepping Up, How to Be Great in Your First or Next Leadership Role. It's available on Amazon. The link is in the description of the video down below. But as I say, do remember, I will be giving away all of the content and more free on this channel over the coming months. So it just remains for me to say thank you once more for visiting the Open Leadership channel, and see you next time.